Rishi Sunak promised to deliver 5 key promises in January. How has he done so far? Rishi Sunak made 5 promises to the British public in January in a bid to win back trust from voters after years of political turmoil under Boris Johnson and Liz Truss. The Prime Minister vowed to cut inflation in half, grow the economy, reduce national debt, slash NHS waiting times, and stop small boat crossings over the English Channel to curb migration. With a general election looming in 2024, Mr. Sunak will need to show progress in these areas to have a chance of overturning Labour's solid lead in the polls and stop Sir Keir Starmer from walking into Downing Street. So how has the Prime Minister done so far? We've broken down each pledge to find out what progress he's made, so how do you think he's done? Have inflation. On inflation, progress is being made. The figure eased to 8.7% in April, down from 10.1% in the year to March 2023. The figure previously stood at 11.1% in October as energy prices soared in the aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which also caused a series of hikes in food prices. Prices are expected to continue to fall this year and drop to around 5% by the end of 2023, so the Prime Minister can say that progress has been made in lowering inflation for Britons, grow the economy. While the UK has not entered a recession this year, growth remains slow. The Office for National Statistics revealed that Britain's GDP grew by just 0.1% from January to March 2023. The International Monetary Fund forecasts growth of 0.4% this year overall, which would place Britain behind many of its G7 partners such as the United States. It also means the UK economy remains smaller than it was before the pandemic. Mr. Sunak said he will grow the economy, creating better paid jobs and opportunity. Right acro, reduce debt. Borrowing spiked after the pandemic as the government was forced to lend more money to support businesses and cut NHS waiting lists. The NHS is one of the biggest election issues right now, with nurses' strikes adding fuel to the fire as the government has struggled to find common ground with trade unions demanding better pay and working conditions. British Medical Association data shows that waiting lists are still increasing. The figures, which include patients on a waiting list for treatment who would ordinarily have been seen by now, has risen to 7.42 million, up from 2.53 million in April 2010. The Conservative Party is working on building 40 new hospitals by 2030 to help deal with the backlog, and Health Secretary Steve Barclay recently confirmed that these are on track to be completed on schedule. Stop the boats. The illegal migration bill is set to make it more difficult for those crossing on small boats to stay in the UK. The idea is to get the Rwanda scheme working, deporting arrivals to a safe third country to reduce the expense of hosting refugees and migrants in the UK. The number of people crossing the Channel climbed by 42% in the last 12 months to March 2023, with 8,631 people making the hazardous journey in August.